like release that ledge pressure. He would kind of go for an option he wasn't sure of and allow KirbyKid tack on the stage. And I just don't think we'll be seeing that for Zai. I think we'll be seeing a much more dominant, controlled style. But yeah, I mean, these two have played each other God knows how many times, I think. And maybe there is a bit of location difference, who knows, but they both have the report on each other. That's just going to be very, very evident.
Agreed. All right, so far, definitely a much slower pace match than we've seen thus far from KirbyKid in the previous 2 matches.
Yeah, and I'll be expecting more of this, right? Kirby.
So the what's that?
Auto reticle.
Auto reticle. I actually don't remember seeing Chase use that. And Zai's used it already once while KirbyKid was off stage, and it seemed like it worked just fine.
It's very good at like absorbing. K-Rool's like to use that double jump, like rising with the up air. You can definitely catch that. And DI's in, actually reacts to it properly, but didn't get the punish. That could have been death. But okay, we've seen KirbyKid be really impressive at ledge. Of course, going to get a little bit over-ambitious, going to get caught by the W half, but oh my god, almost called that spot dodge out.
Yeah. I'm not sure which one of them actually was calling which person out, because it did seem like Zai spot dodged later than the up smash started happening. So I think he tried to react and get past it.
Yeah. Zai's staying patient, knowing he can't really get between him and K-Rool on the stage, so it's just down to just pressure with Nair.
Ooh, and shield poke it looked like.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to see routinely stocks closed out at 180 to 170 here. Zai just knows this is just part of the matchup at times, so that's going to probably do it there, Can't live that forever.
Even had to get the pummels, just like, that little bit of insurance.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Do not allow K-Rool to do not overextend against K-Rool. Don't give him those obvious openings like that. That back throw, almost doing it.
And going to ledge, not trying to get, a little bit too aggressive with his recovery and find himself on stage faster than he needs to and getting caught.
Get that 50% classic Palu tax.
Yo, Zai is just like very classic Palu playing right now. Just very tight, looking for these conversions, covering the space with that forward air.
And catching that jump with auto record. But now we have no jump, and this is where K-Rool is really vulnerable off stage. Okay, tried to force the lower angle, but trying to get reversal instead. KirbyKid amazing in those reversal situations.
But up a whole stock. Plenty of room to work here and keep this lead.
Yeah, I'm going to read the roll there. Yeah, you can't really DI that as a big boy. You're just going to have to take that back air.
And I like that. Standing a bit back further away from ledge and then exploding flaming the ledge. That seems like a smart thing for this match as well. The exploding flame kind of stalling KirbyKid's thinking out and allowing Zai to get in there for the kill.
And Zai is in comfort zone right now. I mean, just, basically just doing what he said, like I said, tight, methodical play. I love the counter there to absorb the exploding flame, but still going to be in disadvantage.
Yeah, even to the point of, like, the timing of the grab as Crown's coming back. You can tell, like, Zai's just like, okay, all right, you're not going to just cheese me. You need to outplay me right now. And that's where you realize that K-Rool is largely a gimmick character and has to rely on, that unfamiliarity and
no
the,
jump again.
The armor, hitboxes.
This is going to be a back air. Yep. This could be another one of...
This is what I wanted LSW to do. Get between him and the stage and really force him to commit to a recovery early.
I mean, it might be kind of crazy to say this, but Zai might probably know more about K-Rool than any other Palu in the world. That's a counter, my God!
It's just one of those things. It's part of growing up. Part of growing up, man.
Wild. That was a I live in your region, I live in your soul kind of.
I live in your head.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ.
All right. So Zai putting one up on the board real quick. Running it straight back. And if I'm KirbyKid, I'm trying to avoid those early conversions, and I'm trying not to get knocked off stage. So it's a lot of running away, spacing yourself, not really largely committing to long lasting aerials. But how much of that can K-Rool actually do against Palu?
It's just the rough part is, like, you can play the long game as K-Rool, but Palu has the mobility to avoid all your setups. Like, everything that you kind of want to get that chip damage with to surprise your opponent. We saw he didn't get one crown setup that entire game.
Yeah. Hardly didn't get many advantage state, to be honest.
Yeah, it was basically 80-20, if not even that.
Yeah.
And we're seeing very, very the story continue here. I mean, it was just like he basically starts the game at 100%. But it looks like KirbyKid has some semblance of stage control now. Let's see if he can hold it.
Right, and one part of what it looks like he's doing is he's having to play aggressive to find that opening, knowing that he's going to have to take damage, and just, being content with that.
The uppie there, And you can tell, I mean, that's what happens when you get down 1-0, you lose that dominantly. You kind of start to flub. You kind of start to lose confidence in the little things like recovery that you've done like 1,000 times.
Well, yeah, and almost a good double jump read. But yeah, and on top of that, Zai's just there at the ledge waiting, seeing what you do. So if you do commit to something a little too early, he's taking advantage of that.
Yeah, that up tilt is actually a really, really good juggle tool if you can directly call out an aerial or something else coming.
Yeah.
66%. And, okay. Gets a trade there, actually. I guess the back air invincibility just didn't quite come out, but he'll take that. 80%, not terrible, but in the corner again.
It really feels like KirbyKid's it's not okay. KirbyKid's gonna have to like assume that he's taking 80 damage every stock and just play at that deficit the whole time, and then it mattered. The real like determining factor of whether or not he's gonna win that set is being able to close out a stock before losing his.
But the main thing is we never saw those drop down back airs from Chase. Chase never put KirbyKid in that situation. Well, it's like, it's just so routine. He's done that same K-Roll edge guard 1,000 times, and he will basically never miss it. Like, he knows the angle so well.
Yeah. All right, well, you know, at this point, things aren't looking good for K-Roll. He's starting to throw out, you know, aggressive, get back to stage options. This is not, he's going to be able to make it back. But, you know, to what end? He's got a whole other stock he's got to work back.
Yeah, and it's just like, we've seen, you know, KirbyKid, usually, like, we've seen him so poised and, like, confident, but as we've seen that confidence win because he hasn't won neutral in a very long time, it's like those YOLO plays that, like, give him so much work. And every single fair has been either parried or nared or just, like, absorbed. Zai knowing when the aggression's coming.
Yeah. It makes you, like, it makes you wonder, like, if K-Roll can even slip in a grab there as a mix-up, you know, when Zai's, like, waiting him out. But this is a rough matchup, it looks like, when played correctly. Like, when you know what you're doing in this matchup, this seems really tough. It's the difference between a top tier and a character that's largely gimmick.
Right, okay. You know, 175 at this point. I mean, you still have an entire stock to work with, so you don't have to worry much. You can kind of overextend. But, okay, now that the stock deficit, or now that the lead is just a stock, you probably have to play this a bit more carefully. You can't let K-Roll get any momentum here.
Yeah, get him off stage and double dare him twice. KirbyKid takes the game.
And teleport Dark Wonderful like that, you know?
Yeah.
But, of course, at 180, a back throw will kill at this point.
All right, well, you know, I don't know if this loses. Oh, yeah, this is finals, so it will be a best of 5.
So what's interesting is that I was actually talking to Chase about this. Dash attack is actually a pretty good ledge trap option. You can dash attack to react to get-up attack and even some neutral get-ups, especially as a bigger body. So as you can see there, Zai just reacted to that get-up attack, did the quick dash attack. You're at 190. It is not the best kill move at times, but it will get the job done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just amazing reactionary ledge trapping.
What do you, if you're KirbyKid, like, you can't even take him to a smaller stage. You can't take him to a larger stage.
Yeah.
It's just on top of you. It's the fight. The stage is almost irrelevant in this matchup, it feels like. It's like, go where you think you might be able to cheese the most. Like,
yeah. It's just pretty rough. 2-0 here. It's looking like every day in the office for Zai. But KirbyKid, I mean, he's the best richest character for a reason in the world. He can really make this happen, but the momentum has to get started somewhere. He just has to not let this phase him. This is going to be pretty routine. The failure armor eating through the explosive flame, but the advantage state is still happening.
And one thing I'm noticing KirbyKid is doing is that he's constantly throwing that hitbox out of advantage. And it's really constant at low percentages, not necessarily at the higher percentages where he knows he has to play safe. And I'm not sure, you know, maybe that's frustration, or maybe that's how he thinks that the matchup needs to be played in order to get those openings for his advantage state.
And this is where the mental game becomes a thing. It's like you're down 2-0 against a guy that has a very, very good record on you. So not only are you down in the game, but you're kind of down, like, overall, like, in a lot of aspects. So it makes it even...
Historically, you're on the losing end of this.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this a lot with our local players where it's like, you know, they're already down to a player that's already dominated them. It just makes the mountain even harder to climb.
Yeah. One thing I would like to see KirbyKid do a little bit more of is look for those opportunities for grab.
You saw there, he exposed the plane right in front of him and KirbyKid wasn't confident on the punish. I mean, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Kind of the wind's out of the sail at this point.
Yeah, I mean, as a heavy, you need those wins. That's you get the high plane, you get the big, and now he's just getting every call out. I mean,
yeah. This is we're gonna watch this play out. You know.
I mean, when you, like you said, when you zap the winds out of those heavy sails and you just, okay, that's a little bit of momentum, that's a little bit of fuel he really needs, but still, Zai is so good at responding and not letting that momentum gather into anything substantial. the double would have been crazy. Kind of like a Robin Arcfighter kind of confirmed there.
Yeah, and this is yeah.
And you see Zai, you didn't see him throwing out those crazy up airs. He knows that up air is not going to be a juggle K-roll. He's perfectly fine pushing K-roll from side to side.
Yeah, and at this point, he's already conditioned KirbyKid to like the good way that a matchup should be played. He can start going for whatever he wants now because KirbyKid's now just like in a state of disadvantage constantly and is just looking to find his way back in, you know? So it's it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
it's amazing the contrast of where like KirbyKid at full power and KirbyKid like this. Like we saw